Ahmad, it's time.
It's time, brother. Every
Time.
Thursday.
Oh, I just saw your name too. That'll be a surprise for the viewers 46 seconds from now.
Well, you know, is what it is.
It is what it is.
They've heard it before.
Mm-hmm. And they'll hear it again.
Of course.
I'm not a big lore guy. Well, okay, that was dumb. I am a big lore guy, but I don't know a lot of the lore on hyperspace and stuff. So I was curious with that video Justin posted why that wouldn't be possible.
I didn't watch the one about the comparisons to whatever show that was.
Okay.
So I don't know. I have no clue. You'd have to explain it.
Yeah, and see, I need to get in there and read the physical lore because I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because in the hyperspace. Okay, so what we're talking about, and this is just off the top of my head, what we're talking about is episode 8, the scene where is it Holdo? The
Mhm.
scene where Admiral Holdo takes her ship and she hyperspaces into the First
Star
Orders.
Destroyer. Yeah.
Thank you. First Orders destroyer, and it cuts it in half. First off, beautiful scene. But obviously, there's a lot of people, especially people who don't like 8, that don't like that scene because they say that's not
Accurate or something.
accurate or down with the lore, whatever. But I'm curious because the whole point of hyperspace travel, like the Thrawn books, take those for instance. I read a lot. I'm reading the newer Thrawn trilogy, and they have what's called Skywalkers, not to be confused with Skywalker, but basically their Skywalkers are young girls below the age, I want to say, of like 13. And they're basically force sensitive users who actually guide their ships through hyperspace. So they go into a force trance and then they physically fly the ship, and that's how the Chiss ascendancy navigates in hyperspace.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is current lore. But when they're navigating in hyperspace, they're navigating around like planets and gravity wells and things like that. So that would lead me to believe that when you're in hyperspace, you don't go through things because you would collide. So why would you not be able to jump your ship through another ship? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is this. For one, I don't really care if people didn't like that. It
Right.
was creative. It was innovative. The other thing, uh, because you and I have read the High Republic books, they've kind of toyed around with some of that stuff, uh, where somebody was traveling through hyperspace and then there was debris and
Yeah, they destroyed them in hyperspace,
yeah. So it
which would which was interesting because when they destroyed them in hyperspace, all the stuff didn't come out of hyperspace. It stayed in hyperspace and then it exited hyperspace at like random unknown trajectories. So like
right.
in different, yeah, which is super interesting.
See, this is the thing. Like people get over it, and I mean that.
Yeah,
This is the thing. They are going to change things. Like if we're going to make Star Wars interesting, everything can't be the same. Now, I'm not. I am not. When I say get over it, here's the thing. I had to do the same thing with Kenobi, right? I despise the fact that Leia knew him as Obi-Wan. But guess what? It's over, it's done.
yeah,
Like there's nothing. I mean, when if I don't like it, guess what I get to do? Stop watching Star Wars. So if it bothers you that much that the hyper like that was one of the coolest scenes in episode 8.
it was really neat.
Very creative. And guess what? The rest of the story group approved it. So it's now canon. It's there. It's done.
Yeah, and we're
So
not we're not uncanny, and I don't have a big issue with it. I'm just
no, no,
the
I know.
video.
I'm not saying you
Yeah,
personally. I'm just saying that the
yeah,
reason why we're having this conversation is because it was so much of an uproar behind it. Like,
yeah.
they want to, question the legitimacy of that maneuver actually taking place when at the end of the day, the whole thing is fantasy, y'all.
Right, right.
So, it's just one of those things like this is what kills me about Star Wars fans. Like, it's one thing to have a discussion and to just voice your opinions about what you dislike. But what kills me is when people get upset that other people don't feel the way that they feel. That's
Right.
the thing. Like if you and I had our discussion about Kenobi, and
Yeah,
you was like, "I'm gonna be honest, that wasn't that big of a deal to me, brother." And
yeah,
guess what? We moved on past it. Like it's not that big a deal. Like I
yeah,
just told you what I felt, and I just think that, and it also it's one of those things because it's episode 8 too. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is, look, if you like episode 8, great, you're in the same camp as me. If you don't like
yeah,
it, great. I'm sorry that you missed out. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But it's like I don't really care about people that don't like episode 8.
Right.
It's like, all right, cool. You missed out on the best script in Star Wars. That's on you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, okay. You can take your shot. I'll give you a freebie. No, I mean, I agree with you. Like there are things that I love that other people don't like, and I got
Yeah.
no issues with that. And there are things that don't bother me that irritate the fire out of some people. And my issues with 8 aren't what everybody, well, it's mostly what everybody else's issues are. But I didn't have a problem with it. The video he posted just said it wasn't, it was basically they reenacted that scene and where she jumped her ship, it exploded on the shields, and it said if this was the canon. So again, I'd
Yeah.
have to do some research. It just piqued my interest, and obviously your Kathy's cousin got me thinking about episode 8, and I was just like, I still think it's one of the more gorgeous scenes. Like, I mean, that was just, God, that was beautiful.
But
You know,
and I love that they removed the sound because it just
oh,
made it almost even more epic because it was like, okay, this thing exploded so fast and so quick, sound hasn't even caught up to it.
well, there
Like the
should be
whole
no sound in space, right? Because there's no air. So that would be the most accurate scene in Star Wars from that standpoint, because there's not engine noises when there's no air in space. And I'm not a space expert, so if I'm wrong, don't come at me. I'm
well,
a
I
mailman.
mean, I just like I said, I just feel like, listen, you enjoy what you want to enjoy,
Yeah,
and you don't like what you don't want to like.
yeah.
Just but leave people alone who do
We
like it.
got to pick
That's
everything apart, man.
I
God,
guess
we gotta, and we not just like pick, but we gotta pick and pick and pick and pick and pick, and then we wonder why like the stars and the directors and the writers are disgruntled, and like they don't want to interact with fans and they have bad experiences. We are a negative group of people sometimes, and I know that's across the board, but
it is. But there's a certain group of fans that know how to act, meaning
yeah,
that they know how to voice their opinions of the things that they don't like, and they know how to uh let the people that don't like what they like have their way, like have
yeah,
their way with that. Like it's one of
yeah,
those things, like it's here to enjoy, and yes, we get to pick it apart, but at the same time, everybody's just doing the best that they can on what they think it should be, and they're not going to always get it right. Because
it's Star Wars.
it is even talking to Joey, right? It's like I asked Joey because he was like, "Man, I just feel like we should have got 5 and 6 earlier." I said, "But why?" Because they put it in the spot where they wanted us to get it. Like, are you upset because you didn't get what you thought you should get, or
Yeah,
because they told you that you were gonna get it and you didn't get it? Because they
yeah,
didn't tell us that
no,
this is what we were getting.
no,
You're upset because they waited this long to do it when this isn't meant to be watched as episodes. It's a series, so you got
the
to get the
series.
whole series. So we had that discussion too. And he's passionate, and
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
so yeah.
And
But
and this is one of the few times I really disagree with Joey on Obi-Wan. And Joey's not here to give his opinion, so I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but like I pretty much disagree with Joey on I really liked Obi-Wan. And me as someone who went into it with a lot of hype, there were issues, but every single thing we watch has issues. Um
yeah,
and so we talked about it last week, but it met my expectations. It exceeded them in some places. It was a little let down in a couple places, but I thought they did really, really, really well.
yeah,
And
one
I
hundred.
was reading this week. Was it the writer who came out and said that he'd originally planned on this being a trilogy of movies. He
Mhm.
originally wrote Obi-Wan as being a trilogy of movies, and season one was basically the first movie.
Well, I mean, so back when the history of stuff, they were talking about doing a bounty hunter movie, a Yoda movie, a Kenobi movie, and this was all after the Solo movie. And then, of course, when the Solo movie didn't do as well, which we all have different ideas on what the reasons behind that were, they
Yeah.
were like, we need to pump the brakes on the anthology films and just focus on the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, and go from there. And then once Disney Plus kicked up, we needed more content, and it was like, well, we can expand the story if we do
Yeah.
a series versus a show. And the
And
thing
yeah.
is even now you got people who are having the conversation about whether we should have a season 2 or not.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are I want it, but I don't need it. So 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 if we get it, I'll be happy with it as long as we don't have a Vader Obi-Wan focus because I thought they did a really good job putting that in a box and kind of just scooting that box off to the side. Like I feel like they wrapped up the Vader Obi-Wan story really really well.
Mhm.
So now I'm not saying he can't make an appearance like if we keep doing this, but I'm just saying like you opened it up so well to go off and like and have you got Luke with the Larses. So he's kind of Obi-Wan's kind of off doing his thing now. But you've opened it up so much with like so many possibilities with the Jedi and the Underground Railroad essentially for the Jedi, and and so you've opened that channel up, and I think it'd be really neat. And I'm stealing a bit of what you said because I think it's a great idea. I think it'd be really neat to see Obi-Wan go off and help the Jedi, right? Like help people hide or like help that and focus more on that. And like I
Yeah,
think they've done a tell us different Obi-Wan stories.
I don't think we need a new baddie, like a new
No.
master baddie, like you said, like a Vader. Like if you want, maybe if you want to have some Inquisitors, like some
Yeah.
different Inquisitors that we never seen,
It fits the
as
timeline, and the Inquisitors are give and take. Like you can throw brother 8 or brother 12, like sister 11, like just throw some numbers out there, slap a scary looking guy with a red lightsaber and give us more Obi-Wan. But I don't feel that it's necessary. If they came out tomorrow and said that, hey, we're done with Obi-Wan. We loved it, we're done. I would not be upset because I think they wrapped up the Obi-Wan series really, really well.
I would be upset. I would be upset
Really?
because yes, here's the thing. This is an opportunity to take a legacy character and give us information that we don't have. Right?
Yeah.
You have a character, you have an actor who is reinvigorated that
Oh, and he
wants
wants
to
to
be
do it.
back in this realm.
Yep.
If and he's can carry a story as we can see, right?
Mhm.
Up the budget. So a lot of the little nitpicks that things had about how certain things looked more TV and not as cinematic as we would in a Mandalorian. Give him the opportunity to carry this character. You got brand new content to play in because you've already set it up to where he can leave Tatooine and come
Yep.
back and check on Luke, and that's it. You don't, and
Yep.
and that's all you have to do. And I like you said, we can be introduced to some of these Jedi who are still alive, who made it through Order 66, like having him go on these adventures, maybe have him go visit Yoda at Dagobah,
Oh, that'd be cool.
have him having some training scenes with Qui-Gon. You know what I'm saying? Like there are
Mhm.
so many things we can explore, and uh and be able to have a good story, and nobody can really complain because guess what? There's nothing there.
Yeah,
There's
and that's what and I agree with you, and I think you if you do that, you stay away from Luke and Leia. You just go off and tell some original story. But like you said, I mean, Ewan McGregor is popular. People love him, and he wants to do this. He's excited, and it's like it's like it's you can just tell he came right out and said I'd be willing to come back. Um, so personally, I think it's going to happen. I really, really do.
and then
Um,
what you could do too, leave Vader out of it, but you can maybe
yes.
have Anakin,
See,
right?
that's so smart. Like, you give us some flashbacks.
That's all you do. Just give us flashbacks, right? Just have him meditating. The thing is that Hayden Christensen is already going to be in Ahsoka.
Yep.
Everybody wants a Vader
We're
spinoff,
getting a Vader series.
so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So A- Hayden Christensen is fine. Focus on Ewan, and you have this incredible story that's untold that we
Yep.
have. Like you can pull some of the Obi-Wan comics and grab some things out of there, some stories out of there, and develop a great story for
I mean,
season two.
just think about all the stuff you could do because like we don't know a lot about Obi-Wan pre episode 1. So like you could throw us flashbacks from when he's younger in the temple. you could have interactions with him and Yoda and him and Qui-Gon again, especially now that you've got Liam Neeson back. So, I'm not saying a ton of it, but I mean the possibilities are limitless. And I think it's great because you did a good job with season one, kind of tying up that story. You've shown him broken, then you show him kind of at his peak. Now give us a series of him just being a badass. Because when you get to, I literally before we started, I was on TikTok and I saw someone posted the scene from Rebels where he fights Maul,
Hmm.
and just his attitude, like, that was so well done. That was so episode 4 Obi-Wan. And so I feel like if we progress Obi-Wan, we're going to see a lot closer to episode 4 Obi-Wan where he's just at peace, where he's at the, I guess the height of his power. He's a master even though he doesn't have the title. um so I don't know, man. I'd be really excited for it. But like I said, like, I liked what they did with season one. So if it doesn't happen, I won't be crushed. But if I find out that we're getting a season two, I'll be very happy. So
True.
very happy.
But
But
I
I
just
do think a Vader's coming.
yeah, I think it'd be a definitely an interesting way to introduce like Cal Castus to the masses
It's a great
by
way to
having
do it.
him, do a episode with him where he links up with him. Um, it would be great.
And Cal Kestis is a no-brainer. I know there's rumors out there that there's a series coming, but you literally have the actor playing the character in the video games. So you have his exact likeness in the video games. It's a no-brainer to bring him into live action.
Just
Now,
like Star Killer. It's we're wasting Sam Witwer just
uh,
sitting here. He could
just
be. You could have him guest star somewhere.
I mean,
You could
and
have
that
him in the Vader
story,
series.
you could plug that story in anywhere. Like, yeah, because he interacts so much with Vader. And I've been seeing a lot of, because for some reason my TikTok is all people like telling Star Wars history and lore and stuff. Which, by the way, I look, this is a side note, but I got into like a 4 or 5 part series about the Sith Jedi Wars and the Mandalorian. Oh, ace. Ace. If they don't do some sort of project and tap that timeline, what are they doing? What are they
Not listening.
doing?
They ain't listening.
They're really not. Because look, I mean, that is TV gold. Well, I say TV because, in my opinion, it needs to be a Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got Game of Thrones with lightsabers, minus the dragons.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So, question for you, bro.
Shoot,
It's rumored that in the beginning, when Comic Con was announced, that both Marvel and Warner was not planning to be in attendance. Now, here recently, both Marvel and Warner will be in attendance. And however, Warner is not planning to have a flash panel. Their reasoning is because it's not until 2023, so it's too far away.
no, that's not it.
What are your thoughts, sir?
So, did you see the article I sent you?
I did not.
Okay, give me yeah, you give me your thoughts while I find this article, because I want to read you a couple things since we opened up Ezra. I want to read you a couple things from a GQ article about him that was
Okay.
spooky. Give me 1 minute here.
Yeah, you're good. No, so I think that it's the right play for them to address it up front, because if they have the panel, I don't care if you had Keaton there. Excuse me. I don't care if you had the other actors there. There's no way you can avoid any questions about Ezra. So the best thing to do is to not have the panel whatsoever. And even when you have your panels of the other movies, the Black Adams, the Shazam twos, the Aquaman twos, everything else, if somebody asks a question about the Flash, you just simply say exactly what the press release was, that, hey, it's not coming out to 2023. We will set that for a later date.
Yep.
And leave it like that, because they don't need to be answering any questions about Ezra Miller, about the Flash, especially when they are making plans themselves and don't know what's going on.
You you said it. You said it. Ezra is toxic in my opinion, and the situation is toxic, and it's, I mean, I know they say that there's no bad publicity, but in my opinion, Ezra's bad publicity right now. the man isn't doing anything right. He's not helping himself. And I think it's smart. Like, maybe you've already got a 2023 release date, so you just pretend that nothing's going on, and you just leave it alone, and then maybe in 2023 we're in a different climate with him. But I mean, I'm 100% with you. I think it's smart not to bring it. I'm going to share you this real quick so you can see it as I read it. But I'm going to read you a couple things out of this article. This is 3 days ago, from GQ. Okay. Um, Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. So it says, I'm going to skip this top stuff here. It says Miller has been racking up arrests and dubious incidents across different islands in Hawaii, which we've already talked about. But the story has taken a darker turn in recent weeks. On June 23rd, Rolling Stone published an extensive piece, and I haven't read it, revealing that a young mother and her children, all between ages of 1 and 5, are currently staying with Miller on their 96-acre Vermont farm. The woman told Rolling Stone that she's found the home to be a healing haven for us after leaving an abusive relationship. But two unnamed sources who spoke with Rolling Stone said that the adults on the property have been farming marijuana and smoking it around the children, despite not legally being allowed to do so. The sources also said that there was a sizable number of firearms around the house, including assault weapons. And so then it comes down here and it goes more into the says the news comes just 2 weeks after a story broke that the parents of the 18-year-old Native American activist Takata Iron Eyes filed for protective order, and we talked about this, but they accused him of grooming. The parents believe Miller has been psychologically manipulating, physically intimidating, and endangering the safety and welfare of Iron Eyes. She came out and said that he has only provided loving support and invaluable protection, but now they're on the run. So
So I did see that article.
you did.
Yeah, I did. Um, Here's the thing. There are always two sides to the story, but the
Right.
problem is because of the fact that all of these stories have been coming out against Ezra, then it's hard to believe that. But I do believe, even though somebody can be going through insane stuff, that they have people that they treat like royalty. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so
Right.
it's hard to then it's like, well, how can you tell somebody else's reality? Now, this, smoking in front of the kids stuff, how do they know that?
Right.
Like,
And I'm not saying that's the issue. I'm just saying, like, and look, I could be reaching here, but the man reminds me of a cult leader right now. He's got a compound. We got firearms everywhere. He's
right,
getting
but
he's collecting
the
random
difference,
families.
but he's done that throughout his whole career. Like, it's just not becoming an issue because of what happened to that other couple. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if he just randomly stayed with this couple he met in Hawaii, and then it turned bad, but
Right.
but this girl that's been following him, the one who used to be 12,
Yeah. The
that
18-year-old now.
right, to Dakota,
Yeah.
uh,
Iron Eyes.
yeah. So she's 18 now. So and the thing is that where were the? I don't want to bring the parents into this, but where were they from the 12 to 18 period? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. It says she's an activist. So I don't know if maybe that's how they came into contact with each other.
yeah,
But
but I've heard he was like paying for her tuition and stuff, though.
see, yeah, and if the parents are accusing, and again, I don't know the situation,
Right, right,
so
right.
I'm not judging anything here. I'm kind of with you. Like, if she's been groomed since she was 12, like, why have we let him groom her for 6 years?
Yeah,
And why is it just now an issue when she turns 18? Why was it an issue when she was 13 and 14 and 15? Um, it's a weird situation. But it just nothing from what I hear about him, and it's not like good news is coming out. Like every time we get more news, it's not making him look better. And obviously, it's the media, and we're writing stories, and so we want catchy headlines and things like that. Um, and look, having a marijuana farm, whatever. I mean, there's a marijuana farm around every corner in the state I live in.
right.
So that's not a big deal to me. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's on the right track.
Yeah, but like I said, I think overall, they definitely made the right call by not bringing it up.
And think about this. Okay, so we said what, 200 million to make this movie, and this is a tent pole franchise for them, right? This is a key pillar in what they're trying to build. Do you want to put that much investment into Ezra Miller if you're DC? Do you do you let him carry that much of your franchise, like of your portfolio? And I don't think you can right now.
Well, the problem is because the movie's already done. If this was like something, if the Flash hadn't started shooting or they
He'd
were
be
2
gone.
weeks into production, he would be gone. I mean,
He'd be
you look
gone.
at Amber Heard has supposedly been removed from Aquaman 2, and that movie is done. But the difference is she has, they probably have to
Yeah,
shoot maybe 30 minutes worth of stuff with her to
yeah,
reshoot, and everything's
yeah. And they
already
can.
blocked and everything
Yeah,
versus somebody who's carrying the entire movie and is playing 2 and 3 characters of the Flash in the movie. So, whole
and
different
yeah,
ball game.
I think you have the perfect idea with him. Honestly, you do what you're going to do at the end of the film. You introduce a new Flash,
Yeah,
and you just wash your hands of it. And hopefully the man gets help. I mean, hopefully he figures it out and he gets the help he needs. But it
100%.
doesn't sound like he's going down the right road.
Yeah. So in other news, brother, since we're talking about upcoming stuff, looks like the Dune Part 2 has been pushed back to November 17th, 2023. What are your
At least
thoughts
it's still
about that?
next year. At least it's
True.
still next year. Has it started filming?
That part I don't know, but I mean, I think that listen, if you're telling me you pushing it back because you're gonna make it better, I'm all for it.
I'm all
You
for
know
it.
what I'm saying? Um,
Dude, Dune Part One caught me. I mean, I know you were a lot more excited. Was it you were the one that was really excited about it, right?
I was interested. I don't know if I would
Okay.
say excited because I didn't
Okay.
know anything about the property. It's one of those things like I just wanted to know. Um, I wanted to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think Joey
Somebody
was probably
I think it was
in
Joey.
the
Okay,
trailer.
someone was like, "You've got to watch it," and so I finally sat down and watched it, and it blew me away. Like I was so impressed with it, especially for a movie that came straight to HBO. I know it was in theaters too, but it was on HBO at the same time. I mean, I loved it, and the story. Like I've seen the TV version from the '70s or the '80s, but I've never read the books. It's something that's on my list. But man, I was impressed, and I'm excited for part two. It's three parts, right?
I thought it was two.
Is it two? That's even better because I'm ready to see how the story ends. So, but I mean, I just hope that it's visually like I hope that it's visually as good as part one, if not better. Because part one to me was great, great, and I don't mind a delay. It just you didn't bump it out of the year. I can wait. It seems like a November or December release anyway, because that's a big like like Lord of the Rings, they came out around there. Like it feels like that kind of movie, like a big fantasy going into the Christmas holiday. Like get all the people that have Christmas and New Year's off. It seems like a good window for it.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it.
Hey, did you ever watch Umbrella Academy?
I watched season one,
Mhm.
and I'm in the middle of season two. I never finished season two. Have you started
Season
season three?
two. Yeah, yeah. I started season three. It is actually really, really good. The way they ended season two, they did something really cool. And they basically picked up where they left off, and so far it's been pretty good. Definitely into it. It's season one was a little hard for me. Definitely hated the way it ended. Season two got better. And so it feels like I'm in a better place with it because I can tell you season one I was kind of like
Yeah,
I, but
yeah.
no, season two and three have been really good.
Okay, then I'll get back into it. It was just one of those shows that it's kind of on my radar, but other things got in the way.
Yeah. What about
Did
the
you
boys? Are you current on that?
so current on that. Hero gasm?
Yeah.
Hero gasm. That's all you
That
look.
show is so up my alley, bro.
It's
It's like
incredible.
Peacemaker to a whole different level.
So this is what I love about I mean, this is just what I love about the boys is like, okay, it's over the top. Like it's
Mhm.
graphic and it's in your face and it's over the top, but it's not just like it's not just show, right? It's not
No,
just tons of blood and nudity and guts. The story is
story is great.
incredible and the actors. Oh,
Yeah,
uh,
you're
uh,
so invested with the cast.
dude, Homelander is he plays an incredible character. Like you hate him. You absolutely hate him, but at the same time, like he,
You need
he's
him.
Yes, he's a result of his environment and how he was raised in this weird, like, corporate culture thing, and so you kind of feel bad for him, but you
Oh, I don't
hate
feel
him.
bad for him, but I definitely hate him. But I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
you hate him.
I don't want anything to happen to him because it's like we can't like who else are you gonna build?
You
Like
can't.
we built Homelander up over a time to
Yep.
where the gradual hate just keeps getting worse. Like when you think like, okay, they finally got him, he kicks it up a notch. Uh,
And look, I'll be honest with you, I don't like Butcher. I
what?
think I don't like Butcher. Like, I know he's like the hero of the show.
I
I
don't like
think
him this season.
okay, well, yeah, but he's just I've never like to me, I think he's obviously not as bad as Homelander, but I think he could be as bad as Homelander.
Yeah,
Like,
he's definitely flipping that coin.
yes, yeah, and like I mean, I could see if they do kill Homelander, I could see Butcher becoming the bad guy.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah, and I think part of that too is because of what spoilers. I'm about to say something.
It's
For season 3. Because he's taking the compound V, I
yeah,
think that's changing him, and he's doing an amazing job. Because season 2, I liked him. It's just like once he kind of like, look, I need to get this kid out of my life in order to like really focus on Homelander. That's
yep.
when he just like became, like one of those like he's beyond the. He is still a hero, but it's any means necessary to get stuff done.
Which is
You
the
know what I'm
way
saying?
that most of the superheroes are. Like take what's been going on with A Train. First off, fantastic story, right? Like I'm loving A Train's story this season. Because when once he had the heart issues, you're like, what's he gonna do? But I think they've done a really good job. Like when they ran into each other in the hallway there at Hero Gasm,
Mhm.
and obviously A Train's been like he finally got a taste of his own medicine when his brother got jacked up, and so he's kind of seeing like the results of like superheroes doing whatever we want. And when he goes in there and yells at her, and I want you to deal with him, and she's like, what about you? You straight up murdered people, and we covered it up.
Right.
And then so when he runs into Huey and Huey's like, "You've never once even apologized." And then he kind of like gets it, like, "Hey, this is the same boat I'm in." Like, man. And that scene with I forget the guy's name. Um, the scene where he finally just snaps and just runs off with oh,
Drags his body, that is crazy.
oh
I hate that his compound V is malfunctioning though. Because like, and you know who else like the Deep, his character, bro. He
dude.
just became the comic relief, and it's just like I love his wife, but yeah, he's horrible.
Dude, his wife is the bad guy. Like he's just a clueless guy that wants to have sex with octopuses. Like that's his thing. And oh god. Oh, it's
When
so
he
weird.
had to
But
eat
dude,
that octopus that one time, that
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 was
was brutal.
dude, and it was still alive, so he had to do it alive, and he just oh, and he talks to him. So obviously he's stuffing this thing in his mouth, and it's like yelling no and help, and
Yeah, and
he
inking
loves the
all over the
octopus.
place. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
The show is great.
oh,
He
it's so good.
listen, Mother's Milk, when they first get to the door of SexCon, and the dude is just he's like, "Bro, you got to get that off of me." Like it's
Oh. Well, and it just you open the door and you're like, "Oh no." Like what and then it's just there. And then when they go through the hallways, it's just there. And look,
yeah.
when he opens
And he
dude, when
kept
he
trying,
opens those double doors.
bro. I felt so bad for him because he kept trying not to get nothing on him, and then he
Yes.
just got splashed.
Oh,
It
dude.
was
And
it was
I'm
a lot
liking
going
what they're
on.
doing with Starlight's character.
Yes.
Because honestly, like, I mean, I was indifferent. Like, I like Starlight, but I like a lot more what they've done with her character, especially as you see her interact with Homelander.
Hmm.
Um, and you see that like weird relationship where she wants to take him down, and he kind of knows it, and so it's like, dude, but she can't take her down because she's so popular. So that's why, like, the end of this last episode was just like, what did they just do?
Well, and then Homelander knows now that Butcher and Huey are both on Compound V. But
Yep.
look, you had 3 supers on Homelander and they still couldn't take him down.
Still could well, they had him. They had him if he could have done the little
Yeah,
chess thing,
felt like a
but you're
Thanos
and
moment.
it took all that they had to get him where they got him.
Yeah.
But I like the scene, it was earlier in the season where it was with Maeve, when Maeve comes in and she's like, "Look, I'll release the video and that'll destroy you." And he goes, "Fine. Then I will take over. I'll take over."
I
He's like,
just
"I'll
kill
kill."
everybody.
I'll kill everyone. I'll kill a
Yeah.
million people in a minute. Like he's just like, I'll become like a dictator. And that to me is like, let's be honest. If we had superheroes, I mean, there's going to be plenty of superheroes who take that mindset, right?
Yeah.
Like just look at the way people are now. Like that's what's so interesting to me is we see like Superman and all the superheroes that we love, and they're all these really good characters, and they always beat the bad guys. But like what if we actually had a corporation? Because that it's America, it's probably going to be a corporation that use these guys for profit. Like
Well,
then
it's I
this
mean,
is
it happened with the Avengers, right? Which why we got the
yes,
whole Civil War thing. Like, okay, you guys are just freelancing doing what y'all want to do, but y'all causing all this damage. So now you're only gonna do what we approve that you guys get to do.
yeah,
Like we're gonna take over.
yeah,
And it's also kind of how the Batman thing happens, right? Where Batman doesn't have powers, and so he has these, contingency plans for all of these superheroes. So it's
yep.
like, look, all right, one of y'all get out of line. I got something for you. Like that's all I do is think about ways to destroy you. So
Which is the
yeah,
reality of it. I mean, Homelander's indestructible. He- he's indestructible, which I mean, just again, the character, dude, this season has been so good.
but
I'm
what I loved about it is because it still feels like the same tone is
yes.
there. It what it feels like is they have a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so well written and like which is amazing because no offense to Amazon, but they don't have a lot of well-written shows. Like there's a few, but I don't think like Amazon when I think of well-written shows. Like
I
I
don't know, man, because I've Reacher was great.
okay,
Uh,
but I watched The Wheel of Time and that eliminates like 15 good shows. Like that just look, you screw up one of the greatest fantasy series of all time. Like, and I'm on book 13. I've been listening to these for like 4 months now, maybe
mhm.
5 months since before the show came out. And so I finally know how good this series was and how bad Amazon's take of it is.
Now, is Lord of the Rings gonna be on Amazon?
You had to bring that up.
What
Look,
happened?
there's a lot of negativity out there. I mean,
I don't know anything about it. Like only
okay.
thing, so I saw a commercial where a kid was in a classroom and the Lord of the Rings book came out, and then he picks it up, and so he starts reading it, fell in love with it, and found out there was a convention, so he dressed up like an elf and seen all the people that liked it with him. So I don't have it, I
Yeah.
haven't read any news about it. I was just asking because I know like Lord of the Rings supposed to be coming out, and then the new Game of Thrones series spinoff.
So it's September. I think it's September for when the Amazon's it's August or September, later in the fall, or early fall. So there's a lot of negativity. We've seen 1 minute of clips, like not a scene. We've just seen some characters, and we get the normal internet backlash. So I take it with a very big grain of salt because there's all this negativity, like all of this negativity, just about the look of some people, and
Mm,
they don't like some of the choices that they did with having some dwarves and stuff like that. So I take it with a very big grain of salt. Like to me, if we haven't seen an episode, I can't make an opinion. Like I'm not going to base my opinion off 1 minute. It looks good from what I've seen. It looks Lord of the Rings. It has that feel, like when you watch Lord of the Rings, it's like the epic vistas and the sweeps and the panoramic shots. I feel that the cities look good, but again, I haven't seen it yet. So I would say I'm optimistically hopeful. They did after the big backlash. They did bring a big group of like some like hardcore like super fans. Some of the lore people, like there's whole like you can get a tokenology degree, so they brought in some of the like the tokenology people like that are professors. So they brought in a big eclectic group of people and they showed them a much larger like preview of the show,
yeah.
and the response to that was more positive than the 1 minute one, at least from the ones that I follow. And so it seems that people are worried but still optimistic, and I think the Wheel of Time really scared a lot of people because they went off the deep end with Wheel of Time. And so that's why I think that a lot of people are now skeptical.
Yeah.
And I can't fault them, Ahmad, because like or Ace, I'm sorry, the Wheel of Time was as bad as you could have done. Now
What
there's
about
but
now did you feel that same way about Halo?
I have not watched Halo,
Okay. And is it
but
because of what everybody else has said, or
yes,
did you watch it for yourself?
no, Look, I'll be honest with you. When I read the lead actor come out and say they had to get the helmet off as fast as they can, it just took like any excitement I had out. Because I'm a big fan of the games. I'm a big fan of the games. I've literally read every single Halo book there is to read, which you'd think there wouldn't be very many. There's a lot. Okay, there's a lot of Halo books. So I've really, I mean, I used to be obsessed with Halo. And the big thing with Master Chief is like the helmet stayed on. Like Bungie made it a core part of the game. Like you're not going to know who Master Chief is because they want the character to feel like the player, right? But the voice is iconic and stuff like that. So I know when you're going to make a TV show that you're going to have to do some stuff. You know, you're going to have to show his face and that sort of thing. But I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I just haven't sat down and really like wanted to spend 6 hours being disappointed yet.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple like some things that Microsoft did a while back and they were like I forget leading into a Halo 4. I think they made a like a TV short. It was maybe like 4 episodes. They were like 30 minutes each and it was incredible. Like it was so good. It was following a group of young recruits at the fall of a training center
Hmm.
academy and they had Master Chief and they had some of the other Spartans and we're talking like really well done live action. They had the brutes and all that stuff. And it was like an hour and a half of pure action with a great story. It led right into the video game, and it's far better, in my opinion, than anything I've seen from the Halo series. And guess what? They didn't have to take his helmet off. Like they got Master Chief having sex with somebody, like the leader of a resistance or something. Like that's so far against like the grain of the Halo series. Because part
See,
of all the
but I
go ahead.
just wonder though if they just added more adult content to like the already like like I'm just saying like I
Yeah.
wonder if you would like it even with those quote unquote flaws if you watched it for yourself.
And that's my thing. Like I've been, I've all I'm saying is the stuff that I've heard. Like I don't have a personal opinion yet. I'm
Mhm,
disappointed from just what I've seen and what I've heard from the actors. But
mhm.
I'm with you. Like I was very excited for it, and then just the stuff that I heard really took it out of me, and that's why I never sat down and got to it. But I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch it for myself. That way I can have an opinion, especially since we do this.
Bro, I would
Um,
love, and I mean love for them to take the Legend of Zelda and make a series out of it.
have we
Make
not had a Legend of Zelda series?
I think Nintendo after what happened to the Mario Brothers movie,
The Mario
uh,
Brothers movie is gold.
it is.
It's gold. I would sit down right now and watch the Mario Brothers movie.
It's like that in Masters of the Universe. Like it's what with Dolph Lundgren.
Hmm.
Uh, I would still watch it, but it's so far away from
Oh,
what.
it makes no sense.
Yeah,
Like it makes no sense. But I mean, it's just, I love it. I love it. I still remember watching Mario Brothers as a kid, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with Mario Brothers, but I'm here for it.
right. But
So
no, I
it's
would love a Legend of Zelda series in the vein of Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, like that realistic look.
Yep. With
Uh,
like a big fantasy feel. Like Zelda is such a massive, like just such a massive story and like there's so much lore with Zelda. I just in my opinion Nintendo does not do a good job with their core brands. And don't come at me Nintendo lovers. Bad Dudes.
trying to
I would
think of
love
that.
a what is the
Now I
Bad
gotta
Dudes?
pull it up.
Yeah, me too. You do it. I'll do it. Hold on. Bad Dudes. Probably not the thing to Google. Okay, so it's like a
See,
this
when
isn't
he
it.
said Bad Dudes, it just immediately made me think of Double Dragon. But
It looks like like an yeah, because Double Dragon's right there, and
oh yeah. Okay, I do remember that.
I don't think I ever played this.
I know my brother did. Uh, we pretty much had every Nintendo with like Ninja Gaiden and all of that. Man,
Mhm.
we had
This
everything.
looks
Okay,
fun. I mean, this was the way games were back in the day. You had that whole stretch of beat 'em ups.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'd be here for it. I just there's so much video game wise that they could do, and they've started to do a better job with some of the video game stuff. We've seen better projects. So I think
Mhm.
done right, it's a cash cow. But it's a hard, like, you have to walk that line because, like, when you're talking video games, especially a character like Master Chief, someone who doesn't take his helmet off, and like they've done such a good job and there's so much already built there. It's hard when you come in, you're like, hey, look, we're gonna mix it up and we're gonna do our own thing here. But you should be playing to the people that buy the game, right? If you're selling 20 million copies of a game, and that's just a number I pulled off the top of my head, but if you're selling a product to these people, like, then you should reach those people.
Especially because you know that people are hungry for a video game adaptation to a movie
Yes.
that it focuses on the lore and not just we need to have a spectacle of big explosions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because, like, we get that in the video game. Like, I could go play Halo Infinite right now and I can get my dose of playing Master Chief, but I want to see like live action, and I want to see, look, we don't need to get into why I'm frustrated with Halo in general, but like give me Cortana and give me the core of Halo, especially if you're going back to the beginning and we're starting over. Like, if you're telling me the origin stories of Master Chief in film or in a TV show, then don't be like, "Hey, look, we only have some of the best-selling games of all time to go off of. So we're just going to throw that out the window and do our own thing because we're Hollywood."
Yeah.
Like this project got delayed and delayed and delayed, and it got off the ground, then it didn't, over and over again, and then your final product is just like a slap in the face to the people that are excited for it. That just doesn't, who sat down with Microsoft and was like, hey, look, I know we have all this lore and I know we have this incredible fan base, but we're just going to push that off to the side and do our own thing because we know what's best. That doesn't, that's what I don't understand with Hollywood and video games, is like, you have what you need right there. Like, you have all the source material, everything is built. All you have to do is turn it into live action.
Yeah, just deliver.
Yes, just deliver. And like, we don't need Master Chief having sex. Like, not every show has to have sex. Like, and I go to this because it's so frustrating to me. Like, when you read the Halo lore, like the experiments they did, they kidnapped the kids when they were little. And they basically, from the time they were, like, I don't remember the exact age, like 5 or 9 or something, from that age until we see them now, like, they've been experimented on, they've been augmented, like, they've been given drug cocktails that killed off like 50% of the kids or something. Like the Spartans you see are like a fraction of the kids that they kidnapped. But part of all the augmentations and the things they did to their body is they don't have sex drives anymore. So like that's built into the lore. So like why would you just throw that out? Because we don't need a sex scene in a Halo movie. It
No, I
just
get it. Like I said,
it,
it wouldn't. I guess for
sorry.
me, no, you're fine. It's just like I said for me. I don't know anything about it because I
Yeah.
don't like first person shooters. So I didn't never get really
Yeah.
dipped into Halo like that.
Not one person that I follow that's a Halo fan, not one person have I seen like it. And that's what's worrying to me is, like, look, Star Wars, you got tons of people who love Obi-Wan, you got some people that don't like Obi-Wan, but there's not all on one camp. I haven't found anyone on the other side of that camp yet. So, I don't know. I don't know, it's worrying. Did you see, this is an odd transition. Did you see the comments from Taika Waititi this week?
Mm-mm.
So I don't have the article, but did you know that his Star Wars film is not written yet?
No, I didn't hear that. I just knew
Okay.
that it was going to be
So
a brand.
I'm gonna find you this comment because it was worrying to me, because we were told that the next Star Wars film is Taika Waititi's, right?
No, 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 no. That's not what we were told. What they
Okay.
said was they were going to put his movie in the place that Rogue Squadrons was going to be. There has not been an announcement of any movie that's coming out for Star Wars.
Because I was
So
under the impression we were supposed to be getting Taika Waititi's film next year.
no, they said the original slot for Rogue Squadrons was next year, and they were like, we would love to put his in the spot. If you notice, they didn't mention anything about movies at
Which was smart.
right,
Which
because
was smart.
why give the fans even an inkling of something? Because and the thing is that why would it be written? He's been focused on Thor Love and Thunder. He's been
Yeah.
focusing on the Black Flag series. He's been like he's had other projects, so they just wanted him to do a Star Wars movie, but his was never supposed to be the next one
This
up anyway.
this caught me off guard. Okay, that's why I wanted to bring it up. It says this is this week. This was 10 hours ago. So during an interview with the New York Times, Watiti explained what he's currently working on after the upcoming Thor sequel. I'm trying to write the Star Wars idea at the moment. He said, I've got to see how that goes because once I submit that, that might determine when it gets made or if it gets made, even. So he hasn't even submitted his idea yet. So that's
I'm fine with it.
so yeah, and I'm not like I thought that that was what was coming next. And
No,
so
no,
if he hasn't even submitted the idea, this is at least 2 years away minimum.
it depends though, because I mean, a creator is a creator. You know what I'm saying? And if you like, say, if you get an idea and it sparks, right, and you just lock in and start writing, and then it's not like he's not going to bring on other writers to help. Like it's a process, but I mean, I understand what you're saying
Yeah,
theoretically.
because I was thinking December 23, we would most likely see a Star Wars film. I don't think that's possible.
Not unless
Isn't it?
Rogue Squadrons is back on and we don't even know it yet. Like they
Okay,
might be saving that news for a different time. Like
okay,
it was smart for them not to say anything about the movies because you
very
don't
smart.
just want to give these fans something to bite on and then not be able to deliver.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
since we're talking about theories and thoughts, what are your thoughts on Christian Bale saying he would be open to playing Batman again?
Love it. Love it. But he said only if it was Christopher Nolan, only if
Right.
Christopher Nolan asked him to. And you can't do his Batman without Christopher Nolan, in my opinion.
I agree.
So I mean, those two go hand in hand because like those Batmans feel like a Christopher Nolan film, and
Mhm.
Christopher Nolan has a real like. I mean, you know, all the movies he's made, Inception. All I mean, they have a very specific feel, and I think it would be weird to bring that Batman back and not have Christopher Nolan at the helm.
Did you watch Tenet?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I had to watch it twice, but really, really good, really, really good.
See,
Just
and that's so you saw Tenet, but you still were nervous about Pattinson as Batman.
yeah, again, I just part of it was just giving you shit, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
But you know, I mean, he's always going to be Edward to me. So
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like I haven't seen him in anything outside of Twilight and Tenet, right? I heard
neither have I.
there's another movie called Rover or something like that that people said he's incredible in, and
I'm not
uh,
a big indie guy,
so I'm just saying to see him in Tenet though, it was an action movie.
and he was
He
really
had a
good.
bunch of action scenes. He brought it, so I was just like,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
But
I just I mean, I really, really liked it, and I would be excited for more Batman. I'm curious where that story would go. Because 3 felt like a definitive ending of his arc. Um, you know, with him and Catwoman going off, and you know, he left it to Robin, even though we didn't call him Robin. Um, so it felt like a definitive ending, and he was so broken in the beginning of, you know, he's all like busted up, which I honestly loved because like, look, any real human being doing what he's doing, like fighting crime like that, is gonna get the it's gonna be, you know, his knees aren't gonna work, and you know, so I liked it. I really liked it, but I would, dude, I would be all about Christian Bale coming back for one.
it would
So
just depend on the story. Plus, I need to
right,
see him as uh Gore the God Hunter, or the what is it?
dude, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like he looks creepy. I'm here for it. And he said
Yeah.
that playing a villain is a lot easier than playing a hero.
Well, I knew him from playing the villain when he was in Shaft. So that's why
He
it
was
was
a
hard.
villain in Shaft.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
He was when I say villain, he was somebody you could love to hate. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
Not really. It wasn't like he was, you know, blowing up half the city and they were trying to figure out who was doing it, but I'm
Yeah,
saying he was definitely not a good dude, and which is a testament to his acting because I really couldn't stand him. So when they was like him as Batman, I was like, okay, I got to see that. So
he did. He did a spectacular job. How do you think that would work if they brought Nolan back?
it would
How
have
would
to
that work
be.
with the current? Because you're trying to put the push on the Batman right now, right? Would that
Here's the thing.
distract?
No, because at the same time we had Joaquin Phoenix, we had Jared Leto's Joker out there. Like We know
Oh,
that
forgot
DC,
about that.
right? We already know DC is like doing one-offs and stuff like that, and there's only a couple of things connected to the actual what's considered the DC story. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen anyway because Zaslav, the one who took over for Warner Media, they're trying to get to a place that they have a story, and unfortunately, Ezra Miller isn't helping that right now because
no,
that is part of that main story.
yeah,
So I think they're definitely going to revamp. I maybe they do some sort of reset, but keep people like uh you keep Henry Cavill, you keep uh Wonder Woman, you keep Aquaman,
you
and
have to
then
keep Wonder Woman.
yeah,
I mean, I'll write if you get rid of Wonder Woman. Just do better than 2 because that was garbage,
trash.
trash.
Uh
Okay, you brought up rumors,
mhm,
so I want to, and you mentioned the Joker.
mhm.
Did you read the rumor that the Joker 2 might be a musical?
I- That's why I didn't even bring it up on the pod, bro. Because I was
Look,
just
no,
like,
no, no, no. You know I don't like the Joker, right? It didn't hit for me, and I know I am very much in the minority. I wholeheartedly admit that. But are you kidding me? Like a musical? A
and they're
musical?
talking about having uh uh Gaga play Harley Quinn.
She's a good actress.
She is.
She's a good actress, but a musical, Ahmad. Like, there's a lot of people who love the Joker. I am very much in the minority not liking that. Do you think a musical's gonna go over well?
It depends on what Matt Reeves comes up with, bro.
Because I'll be honest with you, I
Wait, wait,
will not watch it.
was it Matt Reeves?
I don't know. I didn't like the movie, so I didn't. Let me tell
No,
you.
no, no. Matt Reeves did the Batman.
Yeah, Matt Reeves did the Batman,
Okay, okay. It's the other dude.
the Joker.
I can't believe I'm forgetting this dude's name.
I type in the Joker.
Todd
It's just
Phillips.
Todd Phillips.
It's Todd Phillips.
Yeah, yeah. Sequel to the Joker's officially in the works. Yeah, director Todd Phillips.
Okay, yeah.
But
So
it's a musical. A musical.
what's it's funny you say that because I'm playing the Arkham Knight. Well, got yeah, Arkham Knight, and there was a scene where Joker was singing, and it. I mean, obviously Mark Hamill is playing the Joker, so it's just like okay,
I'd watch a Mark Hamill musical.
yeah.
So I literally just had it and I lost it, but I was gonna bring something up else and it disappeared. Oh well.
It's all
It'll
good,
come back to me as soon as we get off the pod.
of
But
course.
yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a terrible idea. Oh, I think it's a terrible idea.
I do too. Well, but at the same time, everybody thought the first one, and again, I understand you didn't like it, but most
Yeah,
people did.
most people.
So like Sarah literally was crying in the movie.
Really?
She loved it. She loved because I mean
Really?
she majors in psychology, so she got to like
Okay.
she felt that on a different level.
Okay.
And she's watched Joker probably 3 times without me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
She's not even like a superhero person, but she just felt the character, the way it was written and everything. She loved it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But no, man, I'm looking forward to seeing Thor. We are right
Oh,
around the corner from it.
I can't
Um,
wait for Thor.
I actually started trying to rewatch Doctor Strange, but I got distracted.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. But I like Benedict Cumberbatch, man. He's a great
He's
Doctor
great.
Strange.
He's great. He's great.
Yeah. Well, cool, brother. Well, look,
All right, man. It's a good
thank
pod.
y'all for hanging out with us. We are the Marauders. We never did introduce ourselves, but I
Yeah.
mean, you
If
can
you don't
see
know
our
us by
name.
now, what are you even doing?
Right, right, right. And we will see y'all next Thursday, 7:30. We
We
love
out.
y'all. And we are out.